Finally, the firm has come back on MTR Radio. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Firm. I'm Keith Harrison, the bad guy of Sports Talk Radio. To my right, Joe O'Reilly. To his right, Faziano, the Wizard of Foz, Chris Fazio. And directly across from me, Salvatore Gentili.
Hey, what's up? You got the Sports Firm live on MTR Radio, MTRRadio.com, the MTR Radio app. We are the Sports Firm. You can follow us on Twitter at the Sports Firm, on Facebook, the Sports Firm, and on Instagram, the Sports Firm. Lots to talk about today. We got a great show. We got an in-studio guest coming, Nico Big Love Francis from, what's he from?
Indie wrestling sensation.
The indie
Nico
wrestling
Francis,
sensation.
Big Love, will be in studio live today on the Sports Firm.
Shortly, in about a half an hour, so stay tuned for that. Should be a lot of fun. I think everybody knows the top sports topic that is just sweeping the nation. No? Nobody knows?
What could it possibly be, Sal?
I don't know. I heard there's a racist out in California.
Oh, man.
I mean,
there certainly is a lot of talk about the Donald Sterling situation. Obviously, the NBA has voted to ban. The NBA has decided to ban him for life, and the owners are gonna attempt to vote him out of the league. I see you shaking your head over there, Sal. What's on your mind, man? Give it to us straight, man.
I think it's a joke.
So you have a different opinion other than what the
entire
mainstream
world?
media is reporting right now.
I think I have the same opinion. I just think I'm the only one that's willing to say it.
So tell me, what's on your mind?
Listen. Let me start off by saying, in no way do I condone what he said. In no way do I support what he said. In no way do I think he should stay in basketball, but because he's a terrible owner. Not because of what he said. He said it in the privacy in his own home with people he trusted. So who cares? All he said was words. He said words. He's being fined $2.5 million. He's banned for life, and now they're going to try to force him to sell the team. If I don't like my neighbors and I go tell him he's a pain in my what are they going to force me to sell my house?
Are you being racist towards your neighbors?
No.
Then
but
you're
if
fine.
I don't like them, I'm still being prejudiced towards my neighbor.
They're not going to sell their house. You just don't like them. They're not going to curse you out behind your back, do all this stupid stuff.
What's the point, though?
I just
don't get it. He said words.
Listen, I agree. The thing is, it was said in the privacy of his own home, but it doesn't matter because he's being tried in the court of public opinion.
That's fine. He can be guilty in that court.
You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I mean, you could say, obviously this woman is a gold digger. There's no doubt about that.
That's a whole nother story, but he didn't break any laws. He did nothing illegal. He talked smack about a group of people. And I understand it's not right, and it's not popular, and it's not the right thing to say, and you shouldn't think that way. But all he said was words.
I just think in today's everything is so PC in today's culture, man. You can't get away with it anymore. It's talking like that.
I just don't get it. He
Well,
said words.
The major problem is it did come out in public. Like you said, it's at home.
It doesn't matter how it came out because it's already out.
What was being talked about by many people on the radio today is like you just said, and what my point going to it is like it got out there, so now it's out. So that don't matter anymore.
Right.
It don't matter how it got out. It came out.
Correct.
It's out there. So it was in the privacy of his own home, but it's on the record that he knows that he was being recorded. So
and
that's
not
a smart
not the
move.
first time he's made a statement like that.
Right.
Exactly.
And now I know they bring in all the lawsuits with the housing and how he was prejudiced at Elgin Baylor.
I'm not even talking about it.
He's been quoted going back to the 80s saying things like that.
He's an old white man.
I understand that.
You know,
I understand that.
Do you
Doesn't
think
make
it was
right.
too harsh on him, Sal? This penalty was too harsh on him?
I just think he's going to take it to court. He's not going to lose his team. I don't think you can't force the guy to sell.
I don't think he's going to lose his team either, but
What's going to happen? No, I'm sorry, Foz.
I think what happened to him was just fine. It was just perfect. Come on, new commissioner.
Who's
NBA
looking to
commissioner.
make a name for himself.
He made a big name for himself. with
Everybody
this.
loves him.
This is one person you're not going to mess with now.
Here's the thing.
He took
Just like Roger Goodell.
He went to the Roger Goodell School of being a commissioner.
What's ultimately going to happen here is Donald is going to end up passing the team off to his wife or one of his kids. I agree with you in that sense that they're not going to be able to force him to sell the team completely. It's just
they might be able to force him out.
The NBA is a private organization.
Right.
The ban
so that's
stands
fine.
up. That's
I
a
understand.
separate
It's like getting
entity.
suspended from work or fired.
Right.
I get that.
And he should be banned from the league.
And I have no issue with that.
Well,
but you can't force the guy to sell his team, can you? Can they really force him to sell the team?
I don't think they could force him. But
If
with
three-
what Silver said about the 75% of the votes,
Yeah, if
they
three-fourths
vote
of the
him,
owners, they can
then they
force him.
can. And
Because
Silver basically put it on
those are bylaws that you agree to when you become an NBA owner.
So you're going to get a bunch of other 80-year-old white rich Southern men.
He publicly put
Listen,
them on the record.
You
So-
know what 80-year-old nice rich Southern men love?
What?
Money.
Yeah, you're right.
All right,
Yeah,
and
you're
he's
right.
and he
And
is
if
messing
he's
up the
dipping into
money
their
flow right
pockets,
now.
It's
you're
not
right.
about black. It's not about white.
You're right.
It's about green.
You're 100. You're right. That's the only color that matters.
And
in this
that's why
country.
he's going to be out, because it's a black eye in the league. It's not good for the money making machine that is the NBA, and that is why ultimately he will be out.
Once those sponsors,
I
drop-
agree with you. There's a lot of hypocritical stuff going
It's
on
just-
right now,
it's just
Sal.
cra- it just
I
seems
agree
like
with you.
it's so
There are a lot of
much.
people standing on their soapbox that need
Yes.
to go check their own morals
right
first.
now. Everybody is suddenly,
I mean, like you said, it was
Holy.
like you just said, it was despicable what Donald Sterling said, but they were just words. You have guys like Larry Johnson who are offering the idea of actual segregation, an all-black league.
and that's a joke.
And honestly, listen, man, I'm a big Knicks fan. I was a big Larry Johnson fan. Not anymore. Not when that's his true. People's true colors come out in situations like these. People think answering racism with racism is admirable. It sure isn't.
No.
Sure it isn't, and
No.
it makes you look just as bad. And see, here's the thing: what Donald Sterling proposed was just verbal racism. The things that he said.
Right.
Larry Johnson is proposing segregation, physical racism. I don't understand how he's not getting killed in the media for it.
Well, I could tell you why, but it wouldn't be a popular.
No, well, I agree with you
well-
100%, but it's not right,
No,
man.
you're right.
It's a total double standard in this country when it comes to racism.
I don't want to plug another show, but I was listening to the big man in the New York area today. I won't say any names.
Right.
And he specifically said that Larry Johnson was spoken to by his team, but my question, I mean, why shouldn't maybe he should get a fine too? I don't know.
He
I mean,
should
if you're
definitely be
affiliated
fined.
with another NBA team and you say, I know it was a reaction, but like he said, you don't want to answer, I guess, racism.
He's
with
got-
Where
Where
did he get fined by?
He didn't get fined.
Who
No,
would fine
supposedly
him?
He got
The
tossed.
he
NBA,
part of anybody?
No, the NBA should fine. I mean, the Knicks organization should fine
He's
him.
with them.
He's with them.
Yes.
He's with them.
Yes,
I like what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's take on all this.
which
He-
was
Well, basically, he's saying that the public is jumping on a popular bandwagon, and he's calling it, and I quote, extreme finger wagging.
right.
That was his take. And then he also goes on to say that his girlfriend is sleazy and that she has ulterior motives. And then he goes on to say, if you can't trust the girlfriend you're, fooling around with behind your wife's back, who can you trust? So, I mean,
That's a good point.
that's a great point. If you can't trust your side
Listen,
chick, who can you trust?
obviously, this woman, V. Stiviano or whatever her name is, she's obviously not
Stiviano.
an upstanding young lady. She's obviously a gold digger. She obviously has ulterior motives in all of this. Seems to me that she said, I can either wait out the rest of this relationship with him and wait for him to die, or I could clean him out right now and extort him over these. Because she supposedly has 100 hours of footage of Donald Sterling talking reckless.
100.
That's unbelievable.
100
So,
hours.
so she told Sterling's lawyers to come meet with her lawyers, and they're going to discuss a settlement. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there.
She's
But
not a-
we know what her motive is, and it's the almighty dollar.
Now, where's the wife in all this?
She's nuts herself, because
Oh,
one
yeah.
day she's saying Donald Sterling is a racist, I hate him. The next day she's out to dinner with him, defending him to the paparazzi. He's not a racist. Which one is it? You know what it is? Because there's a lawsuit at play in everything here. There's a lawsuit at play. Stiviano is getting sued by the Sterling family for over $2 million
Embezzling money.
that she allegedly embezzled from Donald Sterling.
Ah.
So that's the underlying thing here now. There's all types of legal mumbo jumbo going back and forth from both sides, and they're posterizing for the media here. for
Which
the
brings
lawsuit.
in, I mean, what do you think all this was? What do you think all this tape is, too? I mean, this might have something to do with that. Like, she's just trying to get more
Right.
dirt on him for her lawsuit.
She's
Well,
saying,
good for her. She's
saying,
smarter
listen,
than he is,
She's
then.
saying, listen. I have 100
Neither
hours
of
of
them are
him.
great people.
Listen, she's saying I have 100 hours of him talking reckless. It might not have been legally obtained, but she just proved once it goes out to the public, that's all that matters. So I have 100 hours of this. Now we're gonna throw out that lawsuit you have against me, and you're gonna give me a nice little payday on top of that, and I'll sign a confidentiality agreement, and I won't write a book, and I won't sell anything. What's that?
Do you want me to take a call? We
Yeah,
have a
go
call.
ahead.
Yeah,
We got a
sure.
call. Take this call.
Hey, hey there, caller. You're on live with the Sports Firm. Where are you from, and what's your name?
Franco from Staten Island.
Franco!
Hey, Franco.
Hey, Frank.
I had to call into this train wreck of a news story.
Be nice, Franco. We are
Amen.
on radio.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but this guy has been on record as a down-and-out racist since 1981.
True indeed.
And ESPN is defending his wife like, oh, his dear estranged wife. She used to go door to door pretending to be a census worker so she could get statistics on how many minorities lived in the apartment so they could then kick them out of the apartment.
Wow.
And the reason why his girlfriend's getting sued is because his wife won't divorce him, and she's going, wait, if you're going to, because he bought her like a Bentley, a condo, and a car, and his wife went, wait, if you're going to buy your girlfriend a Bentley, a condo, and a car, that's part of my half, and I want my money.
Yeah.
So this whole thing is just a whole big mishmash of craziness. And if you go back, there are numerous ESPN writers who wrote back in 2009, this guy needs to be stopped. He used to yell things at Baron Davis
Right.
on the side. He used the Elgin Baylor thing about how he wanted him a poor Southern boy,
Yeah.
how he wanted a team of poor Southern boys with a nice white coach.
Yeah.
He didn't want Mexicans in his apartments because they had a smell to them, and they only brought cockroaches and
All
beer.
right, all right.
God bless you, Franco.
We know the reports already, and thanks for the call, Franco. But
Hey, they even back then. I mean, then coming up to recently, they gift
I
wrapped
know.
Chris
Hey,
Paul for him.
He has been sued for more
They
than
stopped that
$5
trade.
million in settlements for racist
Listen, in-
prejudice and other.
Yeah, but for
things.
all this bad stuff he's done, after he does all this bad stuff, then they stop a trade to LA and then they give Chris Paul to him. They rewarded him.
There was one consequence from the player side of this, which is in 2010, LeBron James is quoted as saying that he would not even consider the Clippers because of Donald Sterling in the summer of 2010.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's one thing. There are people that are aware of it. The problem is it gets swept under the rug. Not everybody is aware just how much of a racist he is.
The question is, how did this guy get away with it for so long? Like, I know he didn't get away with it. There was lawsuits and there was other claims and all this stuff, but like, how did it not come
Money.
to this?
Because the owners protect each other,
It's all
Sal.
about the Benjamin.
But
They
now they're
always
going to
get
turn
you-
around.
Yes,
always
they
got
are
your
because
back.
it's such
That's
a public
crazy.
spectacle now. Listen.
That's it. You're right. It's the money. You're
Listen,
right. I get it.
That's where I was saying with the
I get it.
75% vote, Sterling made it apparent that they had to vote against him, right? To put the ball in the owner's court now. Now all those people who protected him
He's still gonna
might
take
turn
his
the
As
back.
long as it's said in private, those owners don't have any problem with those racist sentiments. Their
Of
problem
course.
is that now that it's out in public, it affects their dollar
Their
amount
wallet.
in their pocket.
And now they're all being probably scrutinized even closer than they ever
right.
were.
Who knows what other owners have dirt on them, like whether it be racial, whether it be something sexual, whatever,
Wow.
Who
You wanna know-
knows? They don't want this to continue to grow.
You know,
and snowball.
I honestly I feel even worse for the Clippers players because they have to go through all this and they're in the middle of the playoffs, and I feel even doubly worse for JJ Redick because he's the only white guy on the team. How are you the only white guy in a team of now all black players that are being scrutinized even further? And now you wonder, is JJ Redick a racist?
Let's not talk about JJ Redick because he's not really important right now.
I'm just saying, you feel
what it
for
comes
the guy.
down to, because now they're saying he wants them to sell this team. He's gonna sue them, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
gonna fight to last.
He's gonna
battle.
fight. It's
What
gonna,
it comes
it's gonna
down
be dragged out for years.
to, what
in
it
court.
comes down to, Sal, is he gonna win this battle?
I don't know.
He's not in financial turmoil.
Nope.
He's gonna win. He's gonna keep his team.
I don't know. If
He's
he'll-
not gonna be the name on the paper for the paychecks. It's gonna be somebody else.
I was just
but
gonna
he's
ask
not
that.
gonna lose his team. He's not gonna sell his team to Floyd Mayweather or Lil Wayne or Oprah or Michael Jackson or Donald Trump.
Michael Jackson.
Any of those people. He's not gonna sell his team at all. He's
Michael
not gonna lose.
Jackson.
I think
I'm just naming
Magic
people off the top of
Johnson
my head.
maybe.
Come on, I said Donald
Now-
Trump, guys.
All
Come
right,
on.
fair enough. But no, what is the ban? He's out of everything, right?
He's a lifetime ban.
He's not allowed at team practices.
And
he's
that's
not allowed.
independent of him being forced to sell the team. That ban stands up. He's not allowed to.
that's not changing.
Yeah, he's not allowed to attend games. He's not allowed to be involved in team decision making. He's not allowed to do
Nothing.
anything.
Nothing. But all right, say he wins the thing and everything happens, and he gets to keep the team in name only, but he's not allowed to operate, run it, blah blah blah. Does he still get the profits from that?
Of course, of course he does.
If it happens,
So
that
who
way.
cares? If I'm him, I say, all right, ban me, whatever, put it in someone else's name, but I still.
That's
want my
why I
money.
say what ultimately is going to happen when it goes to court is he's going to agree to pass the team off to one
right,
of his kids.
Right. Yeah, and he'll still sit there collecting checks every
Right.
month.
Exactly.
That was my guess. They're trying to say they're really trying to force the sale so it just goes to someone else. But I think, like Keith was saying, I think the stepson's going to take it or something.
We're not gonna know what's gonna happen until probably 2 years down the
It's gonna be a
freaking
little
road.
while.
It's going to take a long
This
time.
is gonna be just like what Roger Clemens and whatever his name is.
Brian McNamee.
That took like what,
Apparently
3 years?
I think you misremembered his name.
I don't care. That's how long ago it was.
AJ Eid on Twitter wants to remind you about Hedu Turkoglu on the Clippers, man.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm
also
sorry.
Blake Griffin is half white too.
Oh, come on, that don't count.
That
does
don't count.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
All right, he's half offended then.
Oh God.
Whatever.
I think he's full.
My bad. I forgot about Turkoglu. But
Turkoglu.
JJ Redick apparently was the most offended by Donald Sterling's comments. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I did
what
hear
they-
that.
that's what I heard.
Doc Rivers said he was
That's what
pissed.
he's expected to say, man. He's just.
I actually applaud Doc Rivers for the way he's. I played the whole Clippers team. For
He
the way
refused
they,
to meet with Donald
I
Sterling.
know, and I
thought
love
was
that, and I
a good
think
move.
that's great.
was
I
a
think
good
that's
move.
I just
great.
wasn't a fan of what they did the day after with the inside-out uniforms.
I didn't get that.
And throwing in the middle of the
What
court.
would you have done?
I would have just done
Nothing.
nothing. Shut
I would
up and
have
play.
showed up to
Yeah?
do my
It's
job.
not your It's not your problem.
As far as I'm concerned, if
I like the statement.
I'm a player, as far as I'm concerned, the coach is my boss.
and there's no
The
reason.
owner is his boss.
There's no
You know?
reason why for LeBron to do the same thing. Like, dude, you're in Miami.
LeBron
Don't
did
worry
that?
about. He did the same exact
Yeah,
thing.
LeBron maybe.
He didn't do the I took my own jersey, throw it in the middle of the court.
Ah.
Shut up, you big PR guy.
That's what he is.
Couldn't
That's
think
it.
of anything.
That's-
But it's dude, worry about your own team. You're you swept the Bobcats in 4 games. Worry about someone else besides yourself, man.
Well, that
I
whole,
can't I can't take that guy sometimes.
That series was a joke.
They play the Bobcats.
Hey,
Honestly,
big shout out to Al Jefferson for balling out with injuries. He played well still.
The worst part about all of this is that we have to hear about this black-white racist nonsense for the next few weeks over and over.
We're gonna hear about it for the next few years, dude.
I can't
Every-
stand. Honestly, I can't stand every time something like this happens. You know, you start. It's just such a back and forth, and the media plays off the racial tension.
It's
Honestly,
insane.
it's terrible. All we're gonna hear. I don't even listen to First Take anymore for this reason. I don't even watch First Take
Skip
anymore.
Bayless and
Skip
Stephen
Bayless
A.
and Stephen A. That's all they're gonna talk about.
Well, immediately, and this really actually bothered me because if I had Oreos and I only ate the white filling, Stephen A. would call me a racist.
he would.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
He's like the spokesperson for the black community in the sports world.
But some of the things he says are like
I just have a problem.
So outlandish.
Listen, I don't have a problem. I just have a problem when people take it to the opposite extreme. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think
Right.
Stephen A. Smith is, for the most part, is a solid journalist. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
oh,
saying?
he's-
But I think there are a lot of people that take it to the complete opposite extreme and think it's okay to be racist against white people. You know? And like me personally, like, I don't feel the need to put up with that.
I feel like when the report came out, Stephen A. immediately jumped on it and was like, "Oh, I'm not surprised. You know, this kind of thing goes on behind closed doors in every locker room."
Yeah,
it does.
It goes on.
You know that
it goes
for a
on.
fact, though?
It does. Sure, it does.
But it's
But it
like
goes
he-
on the other way too, though.
Right. It's like he came out and called every single white person in America a racist, and that's not fair. You can't say that about everyone. You can't say that about anyone of anything ever. Like there's no way everyone is a racist.
It's not
There's
right
no
to
way
completely
everyone,
generalize
exactly.
an entire race
exactly.
like that. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
And it's crazy. It's asinine.
There's
The only word.
racism and bigotry that goes on both ways. It's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
You know? And it's a different standard though when it's a white person. You know, that's unfortunately
it's
that's
a
the
shame.
way today's America
It's
is.
a
man.
shame,
I'm not
you know,
saying
I
it's
mean-
right or it's wrong. I'm just saying that's the way this country is today.
And it's just, I don't know. It's just these things happen all the time with all different things. The bullying in the NFL, now racism in the NBA, and we're gonna have to hear about it every time something happens now.
Yeah.
No matter
Anything
what.
Or
A-Rod
every
does.
time a gay player
That
comes
too.
out.
Everything.
Listen, man, I support
It
all of
just-
that. I just feel like it gets very
It just
redundant
shouldn't
and
have to
repetitive.
be a big story
Right,
every
yeah.
Well,
time it
sometimes
happens.
the only thing that gets me is sometimes when this situation that you guys are talking about does happen, like an incident comes up, is sometimes it takes away from amazing things. Like, I mean, look at the playoffs this year. This year's NBA playoffs has been phenomenal. I mean, we had ending shots, close games, comebacks, and it's taken away from the sports.
It's
and,
been
you
more
know, in
like
general.
the NBA playoffs have been more like March Madness.
It's
Yeah.
been crazy, especially that series in particular out there on the West Coast has been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the game. Steph Curry's unreal. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
But-
It's a shame that all this other crap is taking
Like-
away from
Exactly.
the series.
Like Doc said, he was like, "Do you think I'd be rather answering these questions or talking to you about how I'm going to guard Seth Curry?"
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, I just think
But
it'd be great to get the sports.
Steph Curry, right? Seth
Yes.
Curry's the brother.
Seth Curry's the little
I'd
brother.
say
No,
Seth
I
and
thought
Steph
maybe
all the
I thought
time,
maybe
man.
I had the wrong name.
No,
for a
no,
minute.
you're right. You're
All
right.
right, all right, all
You're
right.
right. You're right.
All right, we're gonna calm down a little bit. We're gonna get away from the hot button issues. We're gonna kick it over to Mr. Chris Fazio for an update. But when we come back, stay tuned. We're gonna have a live guest in studio, Mr. Nico Big Love Francis.
I am Chris Fazio with the Sports Firm Update. On Tuesday, new NBA Commissioner Adam Silver laid down the law on Clippers owner Donald Sterling for his racial comments with a lifetime ban and a $2.5 million fine. Silver also wants Sterling to sell his team, and thank God he should. Ray Rice pleaded not guilty to a third-degree charge of aggravated assault and applied for a pretrial intervention program Thursday morning in Mays Landing, New Jersey. Really? He should be in jail right now. In the NHL, the New York Rangers advance in the NHL playoffs, beating the Flyers 2-1. They will take on the Pittsburgh Penguins next. Game 1 is tomorrow. In baseball, the Yankees are back at it again. Last night's postponement, they will take on the Mariners. And the New York Mets will face off the Colorado Rockies. I am Chris Fazio with your Sports Firm Update.